Hey everybody, I am Tommy Scoville, and you were on the lifeboat. You know, you take a couple of days off in the Diddy verse, and everything just gets really, really weird on you. You know what I mean? Taking a couple of days. What the heck just happened here? Sorry, hold on. My computer got squirrely on me. I took days off for some recuperation, and ended up. Hey, Lori Abs. What's happening, Lori Abs? Good to see you. MVB, you got to be kidding, man. This is a great stream already. Hello, flock of swan boats. Allison Metcalf Paloma, good to see you. Wendy, how are you? Hey, Faye, Tilly, good to see you. Karatish, what's happening? Maria, good to see you. Motherbird. Rona Cooley, how are you? Good to see you. Can I get a 5x5? Do I sound all right? Well, I love it, Lori. That's awesome. Growler, what's happening? Good to see you. Hey, Faye. We're going to be playing with big boy computers today, so hopefully I don't screw anything up. From Perth, Australia, I love it. Hello, Sharon. Good to see you. Glad you're here. So you take a couple of days off, people, and it gets screwy as hell. I'm not going to lie to you. It gets really, really screwy. So we've been talking about the King Combs issue. A woman by the great name of Grace O'Markey has accused him of SA. Thank you, everybody, for the 5x5s. I'm using a very little microphone, you see. This is the travel edition of the lifeboat. You may have noticed this is not my normal backdrop. Now, you do realize that my normal backdrop is just a green screen anyway. And now what I've done is I've changed out the normal backdrop for a green screen that is a hotel room in Las Vegas. Or I'm in a hotel room in Las Vegas. But either way, June, good to see you. How are you? Glad you're here. Cosmic Christie, good to see you. Kestrel Reese is not here, but she should be shortly. I think she's running an errand currently. So the thing with this following the O'Markey lawsuit, which is odd because they've been talking about it for a really, really long time, but he officially got served with papers about a week ago at his dad's place in Florida, where he's been kicking it tough as the man of the house, kind of taking care of all things Combs related. Unfortunately for him, this falls within the statute of limitations. This isn't just a lawsuit. She's taking a shot at him, and for good reason. I mean, the family's got a lot of money, and let's be really honest, this is not a really good time to be a Combs. I would imagine you got an easier time getting this stuff through court now than you ever would. But here's the real problem for King Combs. This isn't, you're not going to hear me drop allegedly a whole lot about this, because allegedly there's a lot of tape. This is what went down. This ultra mega yacht that gets rented by the diddler. And he has his kid come out and hang out. His kid apparently was renting a villa in wherever they were staying or whatever. But he came out to the boat, and they had on the boat a recording studio. Now, it's not part of the boat. It was something that he apparently needed, because when you got money to set on fire, why the hell not, right? Miss Constitutional Rights, good to see you. How are you? Glad that you're here. Hey, Sharon. So it ends up being one of those weird situations where they throw this kind of makeshift thing together in one of the, God knows how many rooms you got on a $150 million yacht or whatever that thing costs. Good God. Can you believe the amount of money? I mean, here's the thing. I'm into the whole decadent lifestyle thing. I'm all for spending money if you make it. But it gets to a point where it starts getting just ostentatious, right? This isn't their yacht. They're renting it. And apparently it's like $900K a week. And I don't know, man. I'm not a bleeding heart. I've never been one of those people. Maybe it's the lifeboat, honestly. Maybe it's the fact that I sit and think to myself, $900,000 with the money that people have donated to the lifeboat and the stuff that we've done with it. $900K. Give me a shot at $900K for a year, and watch the number of people we could get off dope or get into medical assisted treatment. There's a lot you could do with $900K, but this dude blows that in a week so that he gives his kid a playground on which to record music. So he brings out a really great, I guess, a great producer. I mean, Sean thought he was a good producer, or he wouldn't have had him heading up that whole love thing that he had going on, right? And this is, unfortunately for the Combs family, a cat by the name of Little Rod, right? Little Rod filed a lawsuit shortly after Cassie Ventura's that alleged an awful lot of really horrific stuff, most of which is that while working on this love project with Sean Combs basically molested him every single chance he got, right? He was always grabbing at him, pawing at him, putting his arm around him, grabbing at his backside, at his front side. And then he's allegedly, see, there's a couple of them, allegedly, he set him up in this makeshift recording studio to be a toy of sorts for Cuba Gooding Jr. This is what is alleged. Now, there's some pretty great video and audio that came out of that. Here's the crazy thing. When King Combs, Sean's kid, Diddy's kid, King Combs, is on the boat and doing his little recording thing or whatever, this woman, Miss Grace, O'Markey, Grace O'Markey. Well, while Miss O'Markey is being assaulted, the tapes are running. For real. So not only is there some evidence, allegedly, not only is there some evidence on this, but it might be in Dolby. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't open to debate. This isn't the kind of stuff that we got to sit around and go, her word against. No, not actually. No, the tapes were running. This is what is alleged. Now, if that's the case, what do you think that is going to happen when this thing gets in front of a judge? Even if it's just a lawsuit, even if no one ever presses charges, this is going to get in front of a judge. And that judge is going to go, oh, hell no. Right? Hell no. This isn't the kind of thing that's going to fly. This is bad. This is super bad. The judge is going to hand that directly over to a prosecutor and say, hey, this is well within the statute of limitations. This is that big SA. Why aren't we prosecuting this? His kid's looking at going away, people. His kid is looking at going away. And I know that the logical question is going to be, any chance he could get in a cell with his dad? There is not. They wouldn't be in the same, I take that back. I take that back. I don't know. Maybe they could. I don't know how you charge this, right? Out of the country. Out of the country. Does it become a federal offense? Do they charge him in the state he left from? I would love for a lawyer to explain that. Were the tapes found on the yacht? No, Motherbird. The tapes were handed over, allegedly. The tapes were handed over. It almost, what's his name had his game. Like, honestly, Little Rod had his A game on, or he was just so emphatically trusted by the family that he had access to all of this stuff. He had access to stuff that never should have been recorded. But they probably figured, I've been, harassing this cat for the better part of 13 months. When you do a project with Diddy, it's not like you go down to the recording studio, you show up at 9:00 in the morning, you swing by Krispy Kreme, you grab a couple of dozen glazed, maybe a cruller or two, maple bar, if you're into it, and a couple of cups of coffee, and you say, we're starting our day. It's nothing like that. No, what happens is you go on this drug-fueled and alcohol-laced, just absolutely out of control party for months and months and months on end, including freak-offs and everything else. And then every once in a while, when the mood would strike, they would just haul ass into whatever, was acting as the recording studio at any given time. And they would all get together and get in there and take care of business. Shout out to my brother, by the way. I don't see him in the chat, but Johnny Scoville has been pinch hitting while I had been hurting. And I have been hurting. My back is not great, people. It really isn't. It's not great. Michelle, good to see you. How are you? Karma Chameleon, how are you? Let's see here. Luxury real estate broker in Miami arrested. Oh, yeah. You know something? This is something someone else I got an email about this. Do I think that Diddy, everything that happens from now until the end of this thing is over, right? Until this wraps up, everything that happens, whether it's in Miami or LA, hell, if it happens in Boston, Massachusetts, we're going to wonder whether or not it has something to do with Diddy pulling the plug or Diddy doing this. But Diddy's not cutting any deals yet. I promise you, Diddy's not cutting any deals yet. Right now, Diddy's going full bore trying to figure out a way to defend himself. Although, I think the day is coming. And I'll tell you what else is new? People are starting to talk about this. There are people doing interviews now. And I'll tell you something, people. Popcorn Planet. Shout out to Popcorn Planet. Popcorn Planet did a great show on this. But if I mention the other Sean in a thumbnail, they're going to demonetize it. And I haven't done a bunch of content with Sean Carter's name up there, with the J moniker up there. But I've done one and it was demonetized, right? And it was cooking. It was doing really well and it got demonetized. Popcorn Planet showed his back office and everything that's going on, man. He showed in where all of his content is. If it had Jay's name in it, it gets yellowed. And everybody I have talked to, everybody that creates content on this said, if you put Sean Carter's name in your thumbnail, it's a wrap. In fact, it may be a wrap because I'm talking about him. I'm not joking, people. This stinks bad. This doesn't smell right. Like, how much Diddy content have I done? They'll tell you that the reason that they're flagging it is because you're talking about the T word, or you're talking about SA, or you're talking about people that aren't to the age of consent, or any of these kinds of things, right? Sounds good. What the hell do you think I'm talking about when I'm talking about the diddler, right? Steady diet of all of that stuff. We talk about what his charges are, and his charges are exactly what they say. Hey, you can't talk about that stuff. But I don't get yellow lighted on any of that. Like, if you ever look in someone's a content creator, right, you get this little green thing that looks like a dollar sign. And it basically just says, yeah, it's okay, we're going to pay you on this. So when they run ads, if you come back, if you're watching this on the replay, every, I don't know how many minutes or whatever, because I don't put them in, I let the computer do it, but ads are run, right, during the stuff. This is how I pay the car payment, right? This is what we do for a living. And AdSense runs ads during it. Now, they can limit those ads. They can just say, yeah, this is too controversial, so we're not going to be, selling ads on it. Really funny thing is, they seem to still sell ads, right? The ads aren't, they don't go away. I'm not getting paid on them. And it doesn't happen a lot. Unfortunately, it happens with some big ones. And it happens if I mention certain things, always. If I do a show about certain things, it's a wrap. I'm never going to get paid on it. Now, I'll do it anyway, because it helps build what I'm talking about. If it's part of the narrative of what we're going to be talking about, sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and do a show you're not going to get paid on. I didn't think that was going to be the case with the Sean Carter show that I did. I really didn't. The previous one that I did about him, I had no problem. I talked about his weed company getting the brakes beat off of him and him losing a ton of money. That one didn't get flagged, but everybody that's making content, and you know what? Good for him. $2.4 billion. He's probably got a PR firm that's watching every video, and they got a boiler room full of 400 people that are taking advantage of how the system works. Because if you get enough, asshats to sit and flag things, you can get the computer to take a look at it. And if that continues enough, they just go, I don't want to deal with this. And they throw the thing away because you're not seeing a whole lot of humans. You're not. But I would say that that the Carters have got a much better defense team than the Combses do. And if his second in command is King Combs, number one, he's in a lot of trouble. If that's your second in command, you are in a crap load of trouble. Because that boy, I don't think the elevator goes to the third or fourth floor on that kid. For real. You watched a lot of videos of him. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm really not. But does he look burdened by deep thought? Sorry, but the kid doesn't look all that intelligent to me. Maybe I'm being a jerk. If so, I apologize. Sorry, hold on. I'll tell you something else, folks. I'll tell you something else. It has been great. It has been cathartic. I had to back away because of my back, but it has been cathartic to not watch stuff about Diddy for a couple of days. It's good for the soul. As much as I realize having you people here and watching what I do is really good for the paycheck. Take a couple of days a week off and jump out of the Diddyverse. I'm serious. It's good for your head. Now, I would have liked to have done mine in a more comfortable situation. I was having back spasms. I've really been going through it, but I'm doing everything that can be done to take care of it. A logical question might be, why are you in Las Vegas? And I will tell you that there is a decent chance that we'll go live a little later today, and you'll see why I'm in Vegas. Suffice to say, it's not to gamble, right? I'm not here to hit the tables. But there's an event that happens every year in Las Vegas, and I'm out here for that event. And of course, by that I mean the Bull Riders Association annual. I can't back that up. That's not really why I'm here. But there is an event that happens here every year, and the fellows that put this event on, they're big fans of the boat. They're kind of big fans of me, and I just wanted to come out and say hello and make sure that my friend was safe, because these folks aren't always the biggest gentlemen in town. But we're going to be going live, folks, and I think you'll get a couple of laughs out of it. Just Joan, good to see you. Wait a second. Did I see some wise guyery? What did that say? I'm working with a mouse, people. You really got. Do you see this? I'm not touch screening this. Go ahead and laugh at me, but I work with training wheels normally. Hello, Tommy. You're looking pretty good for someone who couldn't even get out of bed. I'll tell you something. I couldn't get out of bed. It's absolutely no joke. If you went to Vegas last year for your daughter's wedding, no. In all honesty, I'm telling you something. My lower back is it's the strangest thing, because there was Tony Suter. Do I understand it's your birthday? If it's not today, it's tomorrow. Big shout out to Tony Suter. Big fan of Tony Suter. Paula Penley, good to see you. D. Murray, how are you? So here's the other thing. There's also some stuff going on with the lawsuit that is being run against he who will not be named, right? Don't really want to get demonetized, but we know who I'm talking about. That guy. New York side of this thing. Anyway, they're trying to take a run at Busby and saying that they've got proof that the attorney was doing some janky stuff, basically getting rid of people that if there was evidence that pointed to these individuals not being guilty, that they were just brushing that stuff out of the way, or getting rid of it, or literally maybe paying people to go away, kind of a thing. There's some crazy allegations getting thrown around, allegedly, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because we're talking about people that have billions of dollars. And listen, no disrespect. This is just the world we live in, and it's facts, right? Diddy didn't have billions of dollars. He sure as hell made it look like he had billions of dollars, but he didn't. Not in his best day, right? Never happened. And what he's working with now is considerably less than billions of dollars. It's not that, he's not in any danger of having to file for bankruptcy just yet. But when this suit is over, I would say it's going to be a completely different ballgame, and all bets might be off. This is going to get really, really ugly. In theory, and I think that this theory is going to come to fruition, and I mean some other kind of quick, we're going to see his son having to go to court at the same time. Can you imagine being a family with that kind of pull, a family with this kind of influence, and with a whole world looking at you, and TMZ parked out in front of your house, and all of that kind of crap to live with just on its own? And then you've got a group of people going through court at the exact same time. 120 lawsuits here, right? One over here for King so far. One lawsuit over here for King, 130 for the old man. But how about both of them in court with a defense attorney at the same time? And you know something? The kid, depending on how they charge this, the kid should be able to get bail. King Combs? Yeah, he can get bail. There's no chance they don't let that kid bail out. He's not accused of the things his dad is accused of. Don't get it wrong. What he did on the boat is reprehensible. It's just absolutely as disgusting as what his dad has been doing. The difference is his dad is alleged to have an entire business set up to do nothing but. In fact, if you want to think about this logically, what happened to Miss O'Markey on that boat is kind of like it's just more Diddy freak-off stuff. I mean, not technically, because this isn't him abusing his girl or anything else, but it's the same principle. It's this guy saying, I'll take what I want, when I want, where I want. You don't want to do it? I'll drug you. That doesn't work. I'll just force myself on you. Plain and simple. That's how it's going to go down. This dude takes what he wants. And I think this is probably a side effect of that. He's on the boat with his kid, right? His kid watched this in theory, right? If we believe, and I think there's probably 4 or 5 people out there that still believe that Hold on a second. James, that's all right. Good morning. Good to see you, Short Note. Hold on one second. How about that? How about that? What about Forbes dropping the Carter from Beyonce's name? Well, I'll tell you something. This is a rumor that I was going to get to towards the end of the show, but we may as well get to it now. There is rumored to have been a fissure in the relationship between the man who shall not be named and his witchy wife. Sorry, it's best I can come up with. She's a bit of a witch. Keep it real. She's creepy. Whole family's creepy. Oh, by the way, did you happen to see him on the red carpet for the Disney event? Wasn't that nice? Little family thing. Little family get together. They were out on the red carpet, and keep it real. If so, you get, hey, Chicken Cherry Cola, good to see you. What's up, Mischief Managed Kit Kat? Good to see you. This is one of those situations where you're out on the carpet. These guys and gals do this for a living. Every single time you walk out of your house, there's people pointing pictures at you. So if you broke up with your boyfriend the day before, or if you just got in an argument with the queen of the witches or whatever her name is, right? You get into a huge argument with your wife. When the door shuts, you got to give them that big smile because everything's always perfect. And that's how they looked to me on that carpet. Like they were fighting as hard as they could to put those big smiles on. But it's really odd when you look at that. I watched the video of it about 5 times, and you look at the still shots and all that. They don't look happy to me. And I don't mean as a family. They seem to be real happy with the kids, but they could have been a divorced couple that got together for the night, right? And, for the sake of the kids. I don't think they're tight. I really don't. And I think that one of them, more than the other, is a pragmatist. Right. I think that the lady in this situation is going to be looking for a soft landing and fast. I don't see her riding this thing out. She's not going to be the one that's going to be accused of being in these things. Right. And guess what? These people are brands. They're brands. If I came out today and I dropped just something you cannot say, right? The cancelable phrases or the cancelable, slurs or anything like that. It's going to damage my brand. It's going to get to the point where no one will watch me. No one wants to hear what I have to say or anything else. I'm this big. These people are freaking institutions, right? Now, if you're her, you've run more Grammys than anybody on earth, right? Like you're the king of the Grammys. You're just it. Do you want to go down with that ship? Do you? I mean, you got a shot at making a break right now. If she walks away right now and says, I was appalled when I heard what had gone on, yeah, I can't be around that. You people know how I feel about this, and this. I could never be around that. But the irony of this red carpet dance they did last night was this tone-deaf idiot in his statement to the world after being accused of what he is accused of. Can't say because we'll get that yellow strike dollar sign. I don't want that. But we all know what he was accused of. In his statement, he said, the worst part of this is my daughters are of an age, one of them in particular is of an age where she's going to hear what her friends are saying about this. His daughter, right, is just about exactly the victim's age that was accused in this. And to see him standing with that girl on the red carpet just makes you want to vomit. You literally in your statement acted like there wasn't a Jane Doe. She doesn't exist. There's nobody there. That never happened. You also, in your statement, acted as if you don't know anybody named Puffy. Like, this is so out of, how would anybody, this is so out of left field. Here I am just doing my work, right? Minding my own business. Why would anybody think I could be this kind of person? Oh, I don't know. Right? It's going out on a limb here. But maybe it's because your best friend, the only cat on earth you allow to call you Sean. Right? By the way, I call you Sean. But I guess the only one you allow to call you Sean is not looking good on paper. He's innocent until proven guilty, yada, yada. And so is the other Sean, right? Also innocent until proven guilty, yada, yada. And I mean that. I do. This is America. But this is also the court of public opinion. And I'll tell you right now, it's a lot of smoke, man. It's a lot of smoke. You got he said, she said situations all the time, like we talked about. But But the Combs one on the boat, not so much, right? It's hard. I'll give it credit, right? I mean, you have to look at this and be objective. It's hard to prosecute something that happened in 2000, right? It is. That's hard to prosecute. And it sounds like there are going to be some things that may make it easier for them to prosecute this because of the girl's response after it happened. And I say girl because she was, she's still a young lady. She's in her 30s now. But who knows whether or not that's going to fly. But I'll tell you what's going to happen. These brands are going to get pummeled. I'm sorry. Right or wrong, right? Innocent or not. These brands got pummeled. I heard a comedian being interviewed, and he was talking about, he said they got R. Kelly, they got Diddy, they got Cosby. He goes, they indicted the entire 90s. He's like, if you grew up in the 90s, he's like, they indicted the 90s. And they, think about all the people from Nickelodeon too. They really did get a beating through everything that happened in the 90s. Am I wrong? Yeah, he does act like he's a victim completely. That's the get down, right? I'm doing the squat. If Lisa's here, I'm doing this one with the squints because my glasses are not with me. But I don't want to hear it from Lisa. She's here. Oh gosh, I just thought if Sean or Ron got back as well, they could be the magic at work. Be really particular. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna be all right on this one. I think I'm gonna be all right on this one. Goosebump, long time no see. Good to see you. It's really good to see you. But the most tone deaf. Let me rephrase that. Since the Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis letter to the judge on behalf of Danny Masterson at his essay sentencing, right? That was the most tone-deaf thing anyone has ever put in a letter. This one from Mr. Carter comes in at a close second. And you know what the funniest thing is? Do you remember when he popped on and got all hairball about the whole Piers Morgan thing? Right? Had to reach out to old Piers and go, hey, I'm going to sue you if you don't back. And he had to come out and do that walk it back apology and whatever. This was shortly after he had on his show Jaguar Wright. Does this ring a bell to anybody? Okay. This is now we're in a really weird situation, right? Now we're really in a weird situation because what this has done for Jag, like Jag's a rock star. I mean, always has been, but way more of a rock star now. If Jag goes on a show and talks about Mr. Carter, they're going to get a lot of views, man. I've been just the days I've been off, I've been tracking what she has been doing. It's incredible. Could Sean Combs be ordered to do a paternity test regarding Guy claiming to be his son? I think there's a really good chance that if there is anybody that is claiming to be the son of anyone, that's usually a pretty easy thing to get that process rolling on. I don't think that he's going to be able to dodge that. I think with famous people, it's probably harder, right? But I mean, I don't think anything that you throw at the Combs family right now is going to be a stretch. If somebody comes out tomorrow and starts talking about animals, and there's nothing at this point that people aren't open to. And I'll be honest, hate me, right? But I'll be honest. It's because about half of what we're hearing right now from the people that are doing interviews and going around and all that, about half of what we're hearing, there's no way it's true. I'm sorry, it's not. And I'm chasing a lot of stuff down. And I'm not going to be Tommy Buzzkill. I'm not. My show isn't about that. I'll talk about stuff that's real. I'm not going to spend my show talking about people that are saying things that I think are BS. It's a bad way to make a living. It really is. And I'm not trying to become one of those people that fights with content creators. I want to talk about subjects and things like that. But you need to develop a very, hold on one second. You need to develop a very unique palette when it comes to this. There's a lot going on currently in this whole Diddyverse thing. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of people fighting. There's a lot of infighting among people who are creating content about Diddy and his entourage and his family and all that. Guess why that is? Think about it. This isn't about news anymore, right? We've been reporting on this for a really long time, and I'd be lying to anybody if I said, the first time I did a Diddy story, I did it because I thought none of you were going to be interested in it. Content creators don't talk about things unless they think that the stuff they're going to talk about is going to resonate with their audience. And you do a bunch of stuff, and some resonates more than others, and then you run with that, right? So for that reason, a lot of people are doing a lot of content on Diddy. I've not been on YouTube forever. I'm a fairly new YouTuber, right? I've been doing this 3 years. But in the 3 years that I've been doing this, and through some pretty big friggin' stories, with some, stuff that really got a lot of traction that a lot of people were watching. But I've never been in a time where there were people all over the place getting $500 a whack, $1,000 a whack, $5,000 a whack to go on and do interviews on YouTube, because the name brand recognition, the power of that name can bring in enough views to justify whatever you're paying the individual. I find that fascinating. And it speaks to just what a draw this damn case is. Who cares? Right? Who cares? It's just Diddy. Are you seeing what this case really is? Because I'm telling you, people, I'm not trying to sound like this is so much bigger than a rap star. This is so much bigger than any of that. There are people from the time I was a little kid. There have been guys screaming about this my whole youth. But every time one of those voices gets loud, somebody stomps them out. Prince was one of them. People that came out and said that the stars are the new slaves. This is the modern version of slavery. And if you don't understand the industry or get an idea of what's going on in the industry, you could just go, you spoiled. I remember my response growing up. I'd be like, how? These people, this guy lives in a house you could play football in, right? You know what I mean? For real. Just ridiculous. How could these people, when you start looking at the way that this stuff goes down, do you know how often you hear the term sold is sold to the devil? Spend 4 days deep diving this crap and start counting how many times you find someone who says, well, that's what you get, man. Sold your soul to the devil. Now it's time he wants it. Right? Carter family. This is Gene Deal hit it out of the park, right? Gene Deal called this like no one else did. Yard. He said, this, when it's all over, will be a tragedy on par with anything Shakespeare ever wrote. I'm paraphrasing, but that is pretty damn close to what he said. He said, Romeo and Juliet's got nothing on this. Macbeth's got nothing on this. From a hip-hop standpoint, from an entire industry standpoint, this is probably the greatest tragedy ever. And the sad part is, it's been going on forever. It's been going on for so long before Diddy. This is fascinating, and this is a shakeup, and this is going to rock industries to the core, because this has been going on forever, but now they've been caught. And they've been outed in a way that is so different than they've ever been outed before. There is nobody anymore that buys it. Nobody. I was going to say something terrible. Even the fine individuals who are creating content that does nothing but tear down the Jane Does and the John Does in these cases, talking about how it took so long. How many letters for Q so far? How about 380 so far? Are you kidding me, people? If you had any idea how much farther ahead that is than I thought we would be, and I can send the emails to him, but I obviously can't call him. I can send him emails, and the last time I sent him an email, we had busted like 120 or something, and I said, and it was really early on, and I said 120, and it's on its way up, and I haven't talked to him since. He's going to freak out, but thank you. I really appreciate all of the effort on that. Help free Q. That is what the email address is. And if you have a problem with it, if that doesn't go through or you're having a problem, send it to me and I'll get it over there. People who have had a problem with it have sent it to tommyscovel@gmail.com. It clogs it up a little, but I don't care. This is something I don't care. You want to clog it up? You can clog it up. This is the one thing that I don't have a problem going through and puke every single one of those out. I promise. And I'm going to keep you all in the loop and the update on that. I don't say I love you much. I don't. Content creators say it a lot. I don't say I love you much, but I love my audience for this. I really do, man. This is it. And I read probably 7 of them. Honestly, I know that that's probably awful, but I could not get through any more than the first 7 because you're all incredible with the things that you said, every one of you. However, I'm the go-between between you guys and Q, and a lot of really beautiful stuff gets said, but it tore me up. It's now I know where to go when I'm having a bad day. I can go and read those emails because it's really beautiful stuff, and I do appreciate all of you. I really do. So back to this quickly. So let's get up to speed on what's happened while I'm gone. Number one, it's going to take an act of God and Congress, right, for King Combs to not end up locked up, straight up. That what he's accused of doing is well within the statutes of limitations. It's going to be fascinating to see how it goes down because of the fact that he was on a boat. I have no idea how that kind of stuff works. Where's the vessel flagged out of, right? I don't know. I have no idea how any of that is going to go down. But the lawsuit is in, and there are a lot of people saying he's looking at a 10 spot, right? A lot of people who seem to be in the know. I'd love to interview the proper kind of attorney. Danette McClure, good to see you. I would love to interview an attorney that gets this. Hey, Shelly. Oh, no, I'm busted. I'm busted. I'm wearing contacts today, Shelly. I can't back that up. I don't have contacts on. I forgot them. Harley, good to see you. Hello, Diane. Oh, Diane, what a beautiful thing to say. What a really beautiful thing to say. I love that. I really do. You know what? There are so many fantastic people here. Liar. I really did forget them. I swear to God, I did. It's not my fault. Well, I mean, it's totally my fault, but I did forget them. I really did. Allison Metcalf Palumbo, good to see you. So I'm going to rock out the this part of the country, and there's going to be some content getting put up. You might want to go over and check out Relatable Reso as well, because we're going to be doing some content over there. And it ought to be. Nah, you're okay, Samantha. It ought to be very interesting. So the kid's in trouble, right? Diddy's kid's in trouble. There's also 3 new lawsuits against Diddy. They're all not old enough to operate a motor vehicle. Right? These are all minors. 3 more charges. These are stacking up. They're piling up, and the more of them that we see, the more that we realize the affinity, right? The desire, the whatever, the bad friggin' wiring that this guy had drew him to people that were way too young to be doing the things that he wanted these people to do. Plain and simple. The longer that this goes on, the more we realize that this is. That you hear the case of the 13. It's not a one-off, right? This was what this guy did, and it makes sense if you think about it from a twisted mindset. If it's about control and it's about dominance, it's got to be a hell of a lot easier to be controlling and dominant. What time is the show? Oh, they're going to be all over the place. They're going to be going on all over the place. I promise. James Collins, good to see you. You're right. You're right. He's 12 minutes behind, but Ivy's body language looks like she wants to move away. She's referring to the red carpet. You've got to go see it. It's worth watching. It really is. This is a very rare opportunity. We get to see someone in front of a camera, people yelling questions, right in the spotlight. Bulbs going off and popping. The drill on the red carpet as his life is exploding. People. Allegedly, this is the first salvo in a war that is going to be a war, right? Make no mistake, this is going to be a war. This is epic. The new Sean involved does not want to go at this the way other people do. He wants to go at it guns blaring. He wants to go out and doing this one and fighting as hard as possible. Trouble is, the guy he's doing that to has already gone to court once before with the people from BlackRock, and he owns a tank. Might not be the guy you want to, former Marine too. And a former Marine who has now been disrespected about being a former Marine. Makes those guys really salty. It's going to be fascinating to see this play out. And I've been saying that. You're probably sick of hearing me talk about this. Because I said, since the beginning of this, nothing ever from a true crime standpoint is going to be more fascinating than what we're going to watch on this. Now, some of it we're going to have to hear because it's not going to be live in the courtroom. There aren't going to be cameras. There aren't going to be any of that. So there's going to be an old school element of people running out of there and reporting on exactly what they just heard, and then other people taking that and giving their spin on it. It's going to be very odd. But at the same time as that's happening, we have all the drama from the the legal, but the civil side of this. Literally now over 100 cases are going to be playing out just for one of these people in this tragedy, right? We got the other Sean, we got King Combs. There's going to be a lot of other people who are going to get hemmed up in this. And the more people get hemmed up, the more that we're going to see people who start to talk, right? You got the Leo DiCaprios of the world who are saying, yeah, I don't even know the dude. Everybody's saying, Will Smith. Have you heard the most recent clip? There's a clip of Will Smith on stage. And I can't verify where the clip is from. It looks like the House of Blues to me. The LA House of Blues in particular, but that's what it looked like to me. I've been there a couple of times and it really looked like that stage, but he's walking back and forth on a stage and he's talking about, go figure, the diddler. And Will Smith, keep in mind, Will Smith, keep my wife's name out your mother-loving mouth. That Will Smith, you remember? Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith, killing him, murdering him. You know that Will Smith? You know what I'm talking about? You do. That Will Smith on stage said, yeah, man, don't use my name with Diddy's. He said, Diddy and we didn't hang out. I've never been to a freak off. Are you woofing me? Are you kidding me? Like if Johnny Scoville had a scandal tomorrow and I came out and said, Johnny who? Man, yeah, I know the dude, right? We didn't kick it. It's not like Johnny and I were tight. Yeah, I know him. I mean, we spent 30 or 40 years together, but we're not tight. I didn't go to parties with him or anything like that. It's amazing. It's absolute. I want to see one person pop up and go, yeah, I hung out with him. I went to some parties. I never really got into the back echelon. I'm kind of disgusted, right? The only one that came even close to that was one of the Wayans brothers said, oh, I went to a bunch of those parties, but I was always gone before it got crazy. I was always gone. It is still pretty quiet. People are starting to talk, though. The comedian D.H. Hughley, I believe his name is, he went on and did some, but you can be very courageous if you never went to a Diddy party. The people that knew him. But everybody is afraid of talking about, you know who. He who shall not be named. And you know something? I'm sorry, but this is the truth. I'm going to make all kinds of friends. But Harvey over at TMZ, look, it's probably not a mystery that if you do what I do, you watch a hell of a lot of TMZ, right? Nothing that comes out on TMZ I don't watch. And it is really obvious if you watch the coverage of the two Seans that they like one of them a hell of a lot more than they like the other. One of them, they're literally doing what they can to either put some rose tint on it, right? They are definitely siding with Mr. Carter over Mr. Busby. And they're pretty damn, they're not hiding it. They're pretty obvious about it. And it seems a bit sleazy to me from a journalistic standpoint. Why is it that maybe it was the Cassie tape? Maybe if the Cassie tape hadn't come out, old Harvey over at TMZ would be treating both Seans exactly the same. And I'm not being a wise ass. I mean, you got to be honest. I mean, this feels a lot like pre-tape, right? We remember when Diddy came out and started denying the crap out of all this. I don't put hands on anybody, man. Nah, man. Everything. I will categorically deny every single thing that has been said until he couldn't. And then the next day he was doing you know what? It might have been me, and I'm pretty damned embarrassed of whatever happened there. It was awful. Did you make any friends?
I sure did.
Go figure. Well, people, I am getting on to that witching hour where we're going to go down and meet all of our friends that we came here to see.
There was a lot of friends.
Are they all down there? We're strapped up and ready to go?
They're waiting for us.
See, I knew it. All right, so do stick by and watch for broadcast, people. If I'm not here, I'm going to be on Relatable Reese. I got nothing on Denzel. I have nothing on Denzel, and I'm not going to make any friends. 12 minutes. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to make any friends with this, right? But here's the thing on Denzel.
Is that butt shine?
No. Denzel got smutted up, right? Right, wrong, or indifferent. There are people who have said that they have seen Denzel at things. I struggle to believe that. And not because I'm a Denzel Washington fan, right? But because people that do the kinds of things that they're talking about people doing, right, don't do them as one-offs. These people do them for really long periods of time. So when all of this came out on him, I started to deep dive the cat. And you know what you find? This dude does so many crazy philanthropic things that he doesn't want anyone to know about. It's crazy. He builds homes for people that are coming back from war so that if someone's injured, their family can come and stay close to him. He's real tight-lipped about stuff that he does. He seems to have a very close relationship with his family and particularly his wife, who he's been with forever. I'll be honest, there's no smoke. I understand there's someone talking about the fire, but there's no smoke. And it may not make me popular, but I kind of chase smoke, right? That's what I do on the lifeboat, right? If I'm talking about true crime, I'm chasing smoke. I'm chasing people that have caused so much. The Carters, there's a hell of a lot of smoke. It's not like I'm making stuff up. I'm following it. I don't see anything with Denzel. I just don't. If I find it, I promise I'm going to report on it. I'm not even a huge Denzel fan. I'm not. There's one movie that I really liked. I thought that Training Day was a great film, but I'm not a huge Denzel fan. Yeah, well, and Quibbs doesn't like him, but there's just no smoke. I'm looking for it. I'm not finding it. If I find it, I swear to you, you'll hear it. Take Tom Hanks. There's smoke. There's a hell of a lot of smoke, but that's kind of what I chase down. Be on the lookout, people, for the lifeboat. But more importantly, you probably want to check Relatable Reese first. But
you guys might want to come over. There's going to be quite the party.
Yeah, no question. All right, people, I will see you on the next one. Between now and the next time I see you, reach out and try to save somebody, and I'll try to find a pair of glasses, Shelly. I'm sorry. See you on the next one, peeps. I am Tommy. Bye-bye.